All right, so to expand on the 5 minute pullback setup, I broke down, this is the multi time frame analysis. So this is the 5 minute chart on the left, 1 minute chart on the right. And what is it exactly doing during the 5 minute pullback? Helps us discern or helps us gauge if this trade's going to work out or not. And like I said, it's this is still testing mode, but I spent all weekend back testing about all of September. September was a crummy month for trading, from what I understand, and this thing set up a lot, and it had over a 60% win rate, like 65, 66% win rate as far as back testing goes. So, that's a completely different ball game once you're doing it live. But if it doesn't work back testing, it's not going to work forward testing. So let's just start there. Some weeks it had like 80, 90%. So I was using some pretty strict rules on the back testing, and I may go back through it again as I find some more trends or things that maybe happen on the 1 minute chart that kind of signifies not a very good setup. So like this one is not a good setup, I would think, because the so we have the momentum pattern. So we have the news pushes higher, and we have our first pullback candle, which is these five candles right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here in the middle. So we have a pretty sharp drop, and then our work way back up. So I feel like I classify the pullback in either compressing or is it ranging. So this would be a ranging pattern, and the trigger would be at the top of the range. So that is not an ideal entry point for the 5 minute pullback. So just to give you an example, here's another entry was right around in this area right here. I believe it was so it's always on the 5 minute. So I believe it was this candle right here. So, or this was the start. So it would be the next high after these five candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be the high of this candle. Right there would be the trigger. So the trigger would be right here at the top, all the way up. Just judging on the 5 minute. But if you drop down to the 1 minute chart, so this area right here, I feel like is compressing. So we have this big drawdown, and then it kind of compresses the price smaller and smaller until you have that breakout. And the same thing here. You have a drawdown, and then the price is kind of compressing, and then breakout. And then there was another one up here. It was like right in this area. Prices goes up, comes back down, compresses, and then shoots back up. So the one you want to be wary of or cautious about is the ones that are ranging, like so. That's why I wanted to kind of highlight this entry right here. So this one's ranging. It drops down and then works its way back up. So you're kind of getting in at the top of the range, and I don't think that's an ideal entry. So if you felt that this was the start, this was your pullback. So let's say this pullback was done, and you decided, okay, it's ranging, I'm not going to get in on this one. So this thing still would have worked out. You had 15 cents of drawdown here, because you did get an immediate pop, so you could have made, if you got in right at the 20 cents or so, 15 cents I think, and then it double topped right here, so that you'd be like, oh man, this thing's probably gonna work its way back down to somewhere around this trend line down here at the bottom. But as you could see, the price went up and then compressed again, or not again, but the price compressed. So I think this actual area, if you drop it down from the 5 minutes, so the 5 minutes saying, okay, we're on a pullback right now, we can go ahead and get in at some point for a continuation pattern. but this one didn't really, this 5-minute setup didn't really work. We have this trend line here at the bottom. It's compressing off that trend line. I feel like as soon as it breaks one of these candles here, down here at the bottom, I'm in. So you would have been in at that point instead of up here. So you could have minimized some risk and got it at a lower price. However, this could have decided, the confirmation was the break. This thing, we don't know how strong it would have been, but this is a pretty strong setup because we have a lot of volume right now. But you don't know if this thing could have just broke down right here and went down. So you could have had a tighter stop than over here. So that's another thing too. When you have this ranging pattern, your stop is large. So this was a 30-cent stop versus a less than 10-cent stop right here, which is really ideal. So your risk to reward is phenomenal at that point, because you're probably going to get, with a 10-cent stop, you're aiming for 3 to 1, and you would have got it, if not more, because you had this candle right here break, engulf the previous candle. So I don't know if we would have just got out right there, but it drew down again, but then it had one more surge back up to the top here for that double top. So you would have definitely made some money regardless if you played your stop loss hard. Only 15-cent drawdown, so that's not bad at all. So, but I just wanted to highlight that, and I think this is what I'm going to do on when I back test, is really break down these. So we have kind of a confirmation. Okay, it's almost time to get in here, but we can break it down on the 1 minute and see, is the 1 minute pullback pattern, is there any trends there? Is it ranging? Is it compressing? Things like that.